everybody. How's everybody doing? Welcome back. If you've been here before, and if you're new to the channel, then, well, I'm glad that you found me. I'm a bit slow at trying to get people to come to my channel. I'm not sure if I'm doing anything wrong, but I know I'm probably don't come across all that engaging. I'm trying to um, I'm trying to make this the best that I can, especially with me being on camera, which is also sort of tough for me. um, and and the fact that I'm reading out of a book, and and since my eyesight right now is crappy, so I'm using a magnifying glass on top of magnifying glasses to try and read, so I can keep my channels going until I can get some glasses, proper glasses. And I'm also trying to, because you know I still, even after all this time, find it difficult to talk in front of a camera. And and I'm trying to train myself to do it in a way that where even though I'm looking at the camera, but if I can act or carry on like the camera is not even there, then maybe my camera shyness will disappear. And then and I realized too that I'm a little bit behind, because normally today's reading would have been ready by midnight, and or would have been published at midnight. And so I realized that, well, I missed it. So I apologize for today's reading being so late. I will try to prevent that from happening in the future. I'm also trying to come across like other ways of maybe how I can maybe make the videos seem more engaging. Like I've looked at some other people's channels that are similar to mine, and some of them, well, actually most of them, if not all of them, I think I might be the only one who's actually reading on camera. Some other ones, they might have maybe um, some kind of video footage going on as the person's reading in the background, so you can hear them saying today's reading while you're looking at some visuals that kind of make you feel. So let's get started. December. It's a good start, isn't it? January 14th. Discerning when to act. We learn where we can use our energy to make a difference and where we need to let go. Living Clean, Chapter 3, Awakening to Our Spirituality. Life in active addiction for many of us seemed like a battle. Picking sides, winners and losers, retreating in fear from all conflict, or bullying to get what we wanted. We tend to bring this mindset with us in recovery. Some of us confront and challenge more than we engage and listen. One member shared, "I brought a sledgehammer to all my relationships. I felt it was my duty to pound my perspective into every discussion. Choosing my battles was a cop-out." As we mature in our recovery, examining our behavior through step work, most of us will figure out that we in NA doesn't really mean me plus all who agree with me. When we say the we version of the Serenity Prayer in our service bodies and in business meetings, we're inviting discernment into the proceedings. We ask for courage, acceptance, and wisdom to guide us, instead of approaching service meetings like gladiators, like a gladiator games. We concentrate on cultivating enough humility to appreciate and learn from each other. We gain trust in others and become less invested in getting our way. We apply this newer mindset in all relationships. We can also we can also tie the serenity prayer to discernment in terms of paralyzing our time and energy. We can discern where our efforts would be best focused to change the things we can accept, what we can't, and let go when others want to make a difference, change to make a different change than we do. We can ask ourselves whether we're getting too caught up in minor details rather than paying attention to the big picture and where we can make a positive impact. Sometimes the most discerning choice is to say nothing, step away, and let others step up. The member the member went on. At other times, honest self-assessment will lead me to choose a particular battle, but now I try to approach a conflict in my life with a spiritual principle in my arsenal and forego the sledgehammer. This strategy can apply to so many realms within our lives, supporting parenting, romantic relationships, in our jobs, and while drawing out, of course, in NA service. Not everything is battle worthy. Where can I apply my energy today so that I am contributing to the well being of others? What situation can I pull back from that isn't benefiting me or anyone else? Wow, that's an interesting reading today. You know, I can, I can almost, I can almost relate actually quite strongly to that to that reading because prior to me getting clean, you know, the last experience that I had was well before I lost my house is you know, but my house got taken over by some drug lords and gangbangers but I used to be trapped or confined, I guess, in my house all the time or in my room, to be specific. But I used to get beat with a sledgehammer, and the last time I got my head caved in with a sledgehammer, and because I couldn't leave the house or leave my room, I ended up using crazy glue of all things to excuse me to keep to keep my head together. But during that time frame, though, I was duct taped to a chair and taken up to Sycamoose in BC, Ontario. I can't speak. I'm trying to speak more, but so I was duct taped to a chair, taken up to Sycamoose, and tortured. And when I managed to escape, I was hiding underneath cars and in people's yards until it got dark, and then Kamloops was, I don't know, about maybe an hour or so drive away. And Kamloops is where I was living at the time. But so I was trying to hitchhike back to Kamloops, and I guess somebody had called the cops on me because I got picked up by the RCMP. Somebody said some guy, I guess, walking in the middle of the road or whatever. But anyway, so the cops pulled me over and you know I told them what was going on with me and where I was kind of at, and they ended up calling an ambulance, and ambulance picked me up on the highway and brought me to the next town, which was Salmon Arm, and so I spent 2 days in the hospital in Salmon Arm, And then while I was in the hospital, I guess my house was raided, and at the time, and I guess there must have been about 20 or so people in my house from what I heard, and they all kind of scattered, and but when I mental health paid for a taxi to bring me back to Kamloops, which was like a $300 taxi ride, but my house was all boarded up and I lost everything that day. The only thing I owned was the clothes on my back, and so I was on the street, and then I was on a wait list to get into detox. This was back in 2021, and I was on a wait list to get into detox, and I was about 4 days detoxed, having breakfast in or having lunch in what they call the day room at this shelter facility, and I got talking to the manager in the treatment center, which happened to be above where I was having lunch, and I got into treatment that very night. And I spent 20 months in that treatment center, and well, where I'm living right now actually is I've been here ever since I got out of treatment, and I've been surprisingly enough I can't believe I've been in where I'm here where I'm living right now. I've been on my own for the first time in well forever, because I mean I was a drug addict and alcoholic my entire life pretty well, and this is the longest that I've ever been clean. And as of when February 21st gets here, I will be hitting my 4 year mark. And that's a miracle. I mean, I've never been clean that long in my life. And it helps though, you know, because I don't have a desire to use. And but it, it's interesting that that particular story that I happen to be a little bit late on sharing with you happens to be about sledgehammers. Now, not how the sledgehammers were used, but the fact that there was a sledgehammer in the story kind of brought back a solid memory. But I'm doing so much. I mean, today. I mean, okay, I'm by myself today, and I'm alone or I'm lonely. But I know that I'm not alone because you know I'm with what I'm doing. You know, I'm trying to share my recovery with all of you, and at the same time, it also helps me stay clean another day, and and hey, and if my stories or if my recovery can possibly help somebody else out that that might want recovery, then hopefully I can help make that happen for you. But hit like and subscribe. I'd love you for you to be part of my community and my channel. And same with my Just for Today channel. And because yeah, I have this channel, where I talk about the spiritual principle a day, as well as the Living Clean book when I get around to reading it. And then I have another channel which is specifically for Just for Today, as well as the basic text. And yeah, so thank you for joining me today. Um, I appreciate every one of you. And if nobody's told you today that they love you, well, I love you. And thanks for listening if you actually stuck around. Bye for now.